Now, okay, babe, wake up, new miraculous content dropped, crazy stuff, I know. So on Saturday, aka 2 days ago from the time I'm posting this, we received the Miraculous Ladybug London special at the edge of time. As a brief refresher, Miraculous currently has 5 seasons that are released. In addition to that, there was also a movie that was released theatrically. It had a different animation style. It wasn't really canon, but it was cool, it was cute. Then we also have 4 specials now. New York, Shanghai, Paris, and now London. These specials are usually the length of a movie, and they're essentially movies. In my mind, they're not, I mean, they are canon, I guess, but the events that go down don't usually have too much of an effect on the actual plot. But I mean, there are a lot of good moments in there. They introduce new characters, stuff like that. So they're still worth watching. Season 6, I believe, is supposed to come out, or at least start coming out this year. I don't know what's going on with that. I don't know when that's supposed to come out because this year is quickly coming to a close. You can try watching this video without knowing what happened in season 5. I do not recommend it though. I fear that you will become lost within like 1 second. Lucky for you, I do have a very good recap on this channel that you could go watch really quick. You can also watch my recaps on the Paris special and the Miraculous movie that were not included in that recap because that stuff came, you know, after I posted my first video, but that's not necessary because those events don't really affect what's happening here. Now y'all, this London special was very different from what I expected because it is directly related to the events that go on in Miraculous Season 5. In fact, it kicks off right where the finale left off. I would say a good description of this special is a continuation of the finale. The finale gave us a lot of unanswered questions, I feel like this special was a vessel to answer those questions. Also, sorry that there's a lack of visuals here. I know that the special was released in Europe, the UK, something like that. I'm not entirely sure it was released here. I am a bit paranoid these days. I do not want to get in trouble with anyone. But don't worry, I have such a way with words that you won't even like need them. You'll feel transported to the moment in time that I'm describing to you. Or you could just look it up later. This is for tea and lore learning purposes. Are you ready? Like I said, this special kicks off right where the finale ended, minus like the pool party scene where everything's fine and dandy, sunshine and rainbows. Fuck sunshine and rainbows. This special is about angst. So we left off with Marinette just witnessing Gabriel Agreste, aka Hawkmoth, die in front of her very eyes while embracing his wife's lifeless body in the lair underneath the Agreste mansion. They disappeared into a cloud of sparkles and then are never to be seen again. Gabe left all of the important jewelry on a pile, like on the ground in front of Marinette. That includes the Ladybug Miraculous, the Cat Miraculous, the rings that he used for all the other Miraculouses. Anyway, so Marinette puts on the Cat Miraculous and the Ladybug Miraculous. Plagg and Tiki appear and she's like, yo, what did Gabe end up wishing for? And they say that Gabe sacrificed himself in order to save Natalie. That was the wish. Now, I have a little bit of an issue with that because that wish does not concern Emily in the slightest, which makes me think because her body disappeared along with Gabe's. Was that just like a convenient way to dispose of them? Which begs the question, you know, all this time I thought it was kind of universally accepted that she was in some sort of coma, you know, she's sort of like on the brink of death but not actually dead. It's kind of like, you know, a comatose situation where you could either pull the plug or not, but you know, if you do pull the plug then you'll die. But that would mean that you're still alive up until the point that you pull the plug. The fact that Emily was not included in the wish whatsoever would lead me to believe that she is in fact dead. And Gabriel was hoarding her corpse in the basement, and, you know, I guess he was just preserving her body from, or preventing it from decomposing, but that would mean that she's dead. Am I wrong? Because if she's alive, then that would have to factor some sort of things into the equation. If she's already dead, then she doesn't really need to be a part of the equation. Like, her body will just disappear because Gabe was the only one who's keeping it alive, and then, you know, she's dead and gone. Maybe I'm jumping to conclusions. Maybe you're not even surprised by this and we already knew this. I just, you know, I was under the impression that she was not dead. Anyway, so it turns out as Plagg and Tiki were explaining this to Marinette, Natalie was using a grappling hook to lower herself down into the lair, and so she heard them say that Gabe sacrificed himself for her, and she gasped and she was like, what on earth? And Marinette turns around, transforms, and she starts, getting into a fighting position, but Natalie's like, whoa girl, I'm not here to fight you. I was expecting to find Gabe here and I would have killed that bitch. Yes, I would. Now, did she actually say that? No, but she was in fact holding a crossbow, so I know Miss Girl did not come down here to play. Natalie was expressing her regrets about not stopping Gabe sooner, and Marinette was expressing her own regrets for not being able to save Gabe. She was like, wow, I should have been the one to sacrifice myself in order to save him. Girl, be so for real right now. So then when Marinette puts on all the rings and none of the Kwamis appear, Natalie takes her to the Kwami dungeon, where he is in his like little Hawkmoth lair and has all the Kwamis trapped. You know what I'm talking about, I'm sure. So Marinette is able to free them all. She turns around to the wall behind them, a wall that I'm not sure we ever really see all that much in the actual show. We're really only seeing that particular part of the lair from one direction, and we see a wall of security footage from the prison where Adrian and Kagami are currently being held in London. And so Marinette sees this and she's like, what the fuck is this? And Natalie's like, girl, let me tell you, Gabriel and Tsurugi were keeping their children there to protect them from the mayhem that they knew was about to go down. And Marinette's like, wait a minute, Tsurugi as in Kagami's mom, as in she was Gabe's accomplice? And Natalie was like, yeah, girl. And also Adrian doesn't know about any of this. Gabe, Kagami's mom, the fact that his mother's corpse, I guess, was in the basement. Also about Natalie working with him. And Marinette was like, well, he doesn't know my identity either. And you know what? In fact, I am not going to reveal it to him until I have possession of the butterfly miraculous. So now I guess at least we have some sort of, ultimatum, some sort of checkpoint we need to reach in order to be like, oh, this is when they'll reveal. How long until we will get to that point? Who's to say? Who is really to say? So Marinette wasn't able to retrieve the butterfly miraculous. It was like gone. It dropped into the water as we saw in season 5. The peacock miraculous is with Felix, if I'm remembering correctly. Then Marinette is like, Natalie, girl, the fact that Gabriel is Hawkmoth, that shit is coming with us to the grave. I do not want a single soul to know about this. And Natalie was like, isn't lying wrong? Shouldn't I serve time and go to jail for the crimes that I've committed? Shouldn't I repent for my sins? And Marinette was like, fuck that. Adrian needs a mother figure. I am not even exaggerating this. Guys, this is literally how that went down. So then Marinette goes to London to break Kagami and Adrian out of their prisons. Gorilla is there. He is able to help her. She could have cataclysmed the whole building down, but she didn't need to do that. She goes to Kagami first, who, mind you, knows that Marinette is Ladybug, along with Felix. And Kagami turns to her and is all like, is that dumb bitch Gabriel dead? And Marinette's like, yeah, yes indeed. And she was like, but Adrian cannot know about Gabriel's identity. And Kagami was like, I'm judging you for that, but you know what? I'll respect your wishes. And then Marinette and Kagami end up agreeing that Kagami will talk to her mother under the guise that like people change, it's in the past. But that begs the question, is no one going to serve any sort of time for the crimes that they've committed, for the terrorism that they've rained down on Paris for the past year? It's literally only been a year, I'm pretty sure, in this timeline. So is no one going to come to justice then? Like, sure, I'm aware that Gabe is dead, but he's being remembered as a hero. So then she goes to Adrian's cell and she's like, your father was a hero. Monarch forced him and Kagami's mom to create the alliance rings, which eventually helped Monarch akumatize that many people. Then she said that Gabe made the wish himself and sacrificed himself and Monarch to save everybody. Gorilla is flabbergasted upon hearing this. Adrian breaks down in tears. He lashes out at Ladybug and he's like, why didn't you save him? Shouldn't your magic ladybugs have fixed everything? Like, what is going on here? Then he says, Dad, I could have saved you. So then Marinette flies back to the Agreste mansion. She hugs Natalie. The two of them are kind of like a team now, I guess. They're both there for Adrian when he arrives, and then Kagami goes off with her mom. Ladybug tells the press the lie that she concocted. The butterfly miraculous is still missing, and no one will ever know the true identity of Monarch / Shadowmoth / Hawkmoth. Then Marinette goes back to her house with all the Kwamis, writes everything down in her journal. Anyways, then she goes to sleep, but she wakes up to this bright light and she walks out to find find the entire universe about to reshape itself because someone stole her miraculouses in her sleep and is, using the wish. And then right before that she's about to like be sucked into all of this, Bunnix pulls her into like the bunny burrow, the rabbit hole, whatever you call it. And so Marinette is saved, and Bunnix, aka Alex, is like, hey, we need to fix whatever this is, whoever is causing the end of time. And so you have all these little circles that show periods of time, and they're all turning black and disappearing over the course of this special, which symbolizes or illustrates, I guess, the end of time. But Marinette's like, how can I do anything? I don't have any miraculouses with me. And so they steal a miraculous from the past. And from the past, I'm talking way back when in season 1, the Origins episodes, where Marinette at one point, I think this was right when Tiki first revealed herself, and Marinette puts her away in the drawer, and she's like, no, I can't be a superhero. And then later she goes back and takes it out and puts it in her bag because she wants to give it to Alia. It's at that point where the miraculous is in the drawer that Marinette from the future takes it and uses it for herself. After Marinette comes back from her little journey to the past, she says, whoa, I feel like that was like 10 years ago. Hilarious, guys, hilarious. She transforms into a yellow version of Ladybug called Chronobug, which is essentially Ladybug. Nothing new has changed about her. Alex, she gave her like a yellow vest to distinguish this present Marinette / Ladybug as the one, in the present. So a lot of this special consists of Alex and Marinette looking back in the past to see who was doing what, where everything went wrong. First, they went to look at what happened while Marinette is sleeping, and they see this ghost villain take all of her miraculouses. Ladybug tries to fight this ghost, but since she cannot physically touch them, it is pretty much pointless. And then after she goes looking for this villain, she sees a butterfly flying off into the distance, and she's like, oh my goodness, this person is an akumatized villain, which means the butterfly miraculous user is active right now. In addition, we know that this akumatized villain knows that Marinette is Ladybug. So now Marinette realizes that this villain must have been present when she was revealing her identity in the season 5 finale during all the battles. So they looked back in time and saw the moment that Marinette revealed her identity to Gabe, and Marinette sees a villain writing everything down in this journal, looking and watching everything that's been going down, hearing Marinette's secret identity, but it's a different villain from the one that was in her bedroom. So Marinette realizes that this spy villain that's watching her reveal her identity and the one that stole the things in her bedroom, the ghost, are the same person. And not only that, they're both the user of the butterfly miraculous, because why would they need to write stuff down if they could just tell another person? Since they're akumatizing themselves, they need to write everything down so that when they forget all their memories when they're de-akumatized, they can just read everything and be back up to speed. Marinette fights this spy villain, aka the new user of the butterfly miraculous, at multiple points, including when she was talking about her identity to Gabe in the season 5 finale, when she was talking about her identity to Natalie in the Kwame dungeon, and when she was talking about her identity to Kagami in the prison in London. After a bunch of tries, Alex says jokingly, technically this could go on forever, and I quote, but you gotta know when to stop before things get too repetitive. Again, hilarious, guys, hilarious. Marinette, after using her lucky charm, realizes that she needs to erase what was written in the notebook and replace her name with a different person's name so that when the villain goes to read back what they wrote, they wouldn't be able to track down Marinette. And in addition, she needs to do it without the villain knowing. So mid-battle, she does a quick little switcheroo, quickly erases the name and then jumps right back in. She lets the villain win, and then when they go back to their hideout, we find out that the new user of the butterfly miraculous is in fact Lila. Now Lila looks literally exactly like Gabe at this point. I don't know if they did that to make things easier on us. I don't know if that's just like a nod to the former miraculous user. I don't know if this is just Lila trying to make herself look different so that she's less recognizable. I don't really know what's going on, but she has purple eyes. She has like kind of bleached white hair that is pulled back into a slick bun. She's low-key giving librarian. When Lila goes to read back the journal, it says that Gabriel Agreste is Ladybug, which obviously is not true, and she knows that, so she knows that her plan was foiled at some point along the way, and Ladybug wins. Hooray. Alex stays in her burrow, and we actually see in the special 2 older versions of herself, the granny version of Alex, which we've never seen before. We got to see a little look at Lila's new lair. It looks like it's probably underground, somewhere. I don't really know what that's about, where she is, why she looks like Gabe. Nuru is still being abused, bless his heart and soul. Hope he gets out of that situation real soon. Cat Noir and Ladybug reunite on like the ledge of a building looking at the Eiffel Tower like they usually do. And they share a really sweet moment. It was actually, like, it kind of made me emotional. Let me tell you why. It's because the Lady Noir that we have right now isn't the Lady Noir that we've come to know and love in the first couple of seasons. And that's because their dynamic has changed because Adrianette is now canon. It's an actual thing. So they don't really have that same banter. They don't really have the same chemistry, but they still do have that connection to each other, that trust, the fact that they alone know the burden of being the superheroes. So Cat Noir apologizes to her and he's like, I should have been there, I'm so sorry. And Ladybug is like, I'm so sorry too for things that I can't even tell you about. And he's like, I know, I understand, don't even worry about it. And they share a hug and it was really sweet. Then, okay, so we have two big things. First of all, Marinette decides to let the Kwamis all go back to their holders, including, you know, Cat Noir and literally everybody else permanently for good. As in, you know, everybody now has the same sort of ability that Ladybug and Cat Noir have. Meaning that everybody literally can act like Ladybug and Cat Noir. They can transform at every time since they always will have the miraculous with them. And by the way, Marinette said that she changed like the rings that Gabriel made. She is going to design new miraculouses. I don't know if they'll look like the same ones pre-Gabe, like crush them all into little dust and put them in those rings. I don't know what they're gonna look like. We'll have to see. That'll be crazy. How will everyone know who's needed for what battle, or will everyone just pull up to the function? Will the situation be escalated every single time? We need a full army to defeat a villain. Then the last little bit, I'm talking the last clip, is a snippet of Marinette lounging in her chair on her like little porch terrace thing above her bedroom. And it is in the new animation style. In case you aren't aware, I'm pretty sure season 6 and beyond will be a new style of animation, meaning that the old, weird, funky, cursed animation style of Miraculous that we know and love is dead and gone forever. The new animation looks more like the animation that we saw in the theatrically released Miraculous movie, and it's fine, I guess, and I literally could not care less that they changed it for the movie. But to change the show itself, I don't know. I'm a fan of continuity, and you can't just change the entire style of animation midway through the show. How am I supposed to feel about that? I'll tell you how I feel. Not okay. I don't care that the old animation was janky. I don't care that there were lots of problems with it. I love it. I've grown to love it. I have never once thought that it needed to be changed. Apparently there was like a little teaser of season 6 that I saw on TikTok, and the way that their mouths move is really weird. I don't even think that it's a step up, you know, quality-wise from the old animation, considering how their mouths move, but maybe it is. I don't know. I guess I'll give it a try. I have no choice but to. I was talking to my friend Sam about the new change, and she says that she doesn't mind it at all. She even in fact likes it, which, traitor. My other friend, Georgia, from Miraculous TikTok, Chaton Rouge, if you are familiar with that, but we're on the same page there. We both do not like it. It is weird. But yeah, that's essentially what's going on. That's the latest Miraculous update. I think also, I've seen a little bit of season 6. It is weird. It, like, definitely the vibes are different. I am so curious to see what's going to happen. Again, not a fan of the animation. There was supposed to be a time skip. Everybody was talking about like a time skip. Again, like I said, the entire course of the show, even though it's been released over the course of like a decade, it's only taken place over the course of like a year. And I thought, because of the way that the show's going, now that Gabriel is literally dead, so many things have changed, the vibes have gotten a lot darker. People thought that there was going to be a time skip, but in fact, I don't think there is. And even if it is definitely not one that's like super significant. I don't think it's even more than like a year. But that is the vibes. How are you feeling about this? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Do you even know what I'm talking about? Have you even seen Miraculous? Who out there, like, I'm assuming that most of my subscribers have seen Miraculous, but I could be totally wrong because I posted an Instagram poll asking how many of y'all have seen Arcane, and the majority of you said no. And I I was looking at some of my Instagram DMs and someone was like, girl, so does this mean that the majority of your, you know, followers are straight? And I was like, I really beg to differ. I thought y'all were, I did not expect that of y'all. But anyways, I hope y'all enjoyed this. I hope y'all are having a good day, week. Who's excited for spooky season? I am. Woo! Maybe I'll spooky it up. I kind of want to get like a costume. I kind of want to go full out on costumes. Is that crazy? If y'all see me go full out in costumes on this channel, just disregard that, please. I'm just trying to have fun. Anyways, I love y'all. See you later. Bye.